Tank, would you trust Tom Brady getting 2.5 points at home against a Cowboys team with Dak Prescott that hasn't necessarily been 100% reliable, but they do have an extremely reliable defense? Like, how do you play this game?
LJ, I have trust
Tank.
issues with both of these teams. Major trust issues with both of these teams. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
But first, before we get to this week, let's just revisit last week for a hot second. Like, what in the hell did we see from the Dallas Cowboys against the Washington
No, I
Commanders?
have no clue.
Like
No clue.
that, sh-
No
that
clue.
shit was nasty. I mean, that was disgusting. Like for real, for real. Like the punter drops a snap that leads to a touchdown. Like they were getting killed on over routes. Like
Yeah,
they had the Dallas Cowboys offense had 11 three and outs.
that wasn't
11
good.
three and outs. Like that is just beyond terrible for like any team
Mm-hmm.
that's supposed to be entering the playoffs. They couldn't run the ball. They averaged 2.4 yards per rush. And then if you want to just go ahead and pull a narrative for what Tom Brady and Mike Evans could potentially do, I mean, we know it's the shot play on the outside to scary Terry McLaurin. And we can honestly see that happening over and over again if Tom Brady can connect with Mike Evans the way he did against the Carolina Panthers defense. So if we spin it forward to this week, we have the Dallas Cowboys who play under the most pressure of any NFL team because their owner
Mm-hmm.
is always out in front of the camera 24/7 talking up either his team or specific narratives. And so everybody is always talking Cowboys, what puts the utmost pressure on them. And now they have to face Tom Brady of all quarterbacks who doesn't have a damn thing to lose. The Cowboys have everything to lose going into this matchup, even though they've been playing like
Mm-hmm.
hot doo doo. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
Mm-hmm.
like they've been playing so damn terrible. People be like, hey, if they throw up a dud, hey, it's to be expected. But they're playing at home. Mike Evans just exploded for damn near over 200 passing receiving yards and 3 touchdowns a couple games ago. So he finally got his rhythm back with Tom Brady. And the defense is playing a little bit better now. And you get to play against Dak Prescott, where at first, like once we were in that Jacksonville range of the games where they was kind of giving Dak hell, I was like, it's not all on him. Like the last interception that sealed the game, like that
Not
bounced
on
off
him.
Noah Brown's hands. Like
Yeah.
that was a reception that Noah Brown should have made. But like the throws that he was making against the Commanders, like he almost threw a damn pick six before he threw the pick six.
Mm-hmm.
The very next play, like what are you looking at, dog? So I feel like right now his confidence level is like about as low as it can be the entire season. And now you're playing your largest, biggest game of the season. Like I really don't know how the Cowboys overcome all the adversity that they're going through. The defense is playing like shit too. And how do you overcome all that in the most important game of the season and get a dub? So if they
Yeah.
do, I believe it creates a whole lot of momentum and it could possibly make the Cowboys one of the more dangerous teams in the playoffs. But the only way you can get to that narrative is that you have to beat the GOAT at home with this offense surging and that defense playing better. Good luck.
Yeah. Do the Cowboys beat the GOAT? I mean, especially coming off of that loss last week. What do we expect from them, Jared?
Yeah, line analysis wise, the early movement off Tampa, 3.5 lasted like 30 seconds. And then
Mm-hmm.
it got to 3, and now we're seeing, let's call it 2.75, with a little bit of juice on the 2.5 there. I mean, Tom says this is the healthiest his team has been all year. The offensive line's certainly getting healthier. Ryan Jensen, I think, is going to be back at center this week. And that's very important because the backup center, Ryan Hainsey, hurt his hamstring on Sunday, and he's questionable.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan Smith didn't play last week. Tristan Wirfs also seems to be healthy. So, you got to believe Tom face value that the Bucs, offensively speaking, are getting pretty healthy. That's very important because Dallas will get after you. Dan Quinn has done a great job this year. They've got the third highest pressure rate. They've got Micah Parsons, who is amongst the NFL leaders. I think he does leads the NFL in pressures, 13.5 sacks. Lawrence Armstrong Fowler Jr., 20.5 sacks. Even Donovan Wilson, the safety, leads the NFL with sacks from the safety position with 5. So even the secondary guys, Tank, you probably would have loved playing for Dan Quinn. Get them safety robbers in the box and just come after the quarterback. They get after you up front. So the Bucs
Mm-hmm.
offensive line is going to need to be good in this game. on the other side, I don't know what Dak's looking at right now. And Dan Orlovsky did a great breakdown of one of the route combinations they put together in that Washington game, where this is the right side of the field, so his strong side, he's a right-handed quarterback, and it was a sluggo route from the slot with CeeDee Lamb, and then Dalton Schultz was running a wheel up the sideline, and he is diagnosing it perfectly. He's looking right at both defenders. And the guy in the slot didn't do a great job on the sluggo, and the wheel route didn't do a great job either. And both guys were open. And he's looking right at it. And he's like, nope, I'm going to come back on this side of the field and throw a late curl route into the slot and almost get it intercepted. So, like, I don't understand what he's diagnosing with his eyes right now. Because as a quarterback, and I didn't play in the NFL, but I still understand basic how to read a defense. If you're looking at a sluggo wheel route combination and you have both corners that are flat-footed, and you got CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz, yeah, that's the side of the field I'm throwing to, Dak. And he's just not seeing it right now. 18
You know what that sounds like, Jared?
What's that?
You know what that
Seeing
sounds
ghosts.
like before you know what that sounds
Seeing
like?
ghosts.
You either seeing ghosts or you predetermining where you're going to throw instead
Yeah.
of reading the defense
Yeah.
and putting the ball where it needs to go. And that's a
But that's
dangerous
not
recipe going
at
against
Dak
Tampa Bay
Prescott's
Buccaneers
level,
defense.
at the stage of his career. That can't
Right.
be what's happening. That's something
Absolutely.
I'd expect from Brock Purdy. You know,
Mhm.
I don't expect that from Dak Prescott. And, you know, the turnover-worthy plays, I went back and I watched all 15 of his interceptions this year. They're not pretty. Some of them, though, weren't his fault. But still, turnover-worthy plays, very up. 6th highest turnover-worthy play rate in the NFL. And he's thrown a pick in 7 straight games. So I don't understand what Dak is looking at right now. And
Yeah.
I'm very fascinated to see what Todd Bowles does against him this week. Because if I'm Todd, I am trying to disguise and mix up my coverages as much as possible. And this is the week to get very exotic with your blitz schemes. He's not a very heavy blitz, happy defensive mind. He likes to let his front four do their thing, and he likes to kind of sit back in that zone. But this might be the week that I would be very aggressive and throw the kitchen sink at Dak, because I don't think he has any idea what he's looking at right now. And he's going to make a mistake at some point in this game. Is it going to cost them the game? We'll see. But I don't trust Dak Prescott at all right now, so it is impossible for me to lay 2.5 with Dallas. Now, everybody's going to be on the Bucs this week, and that scares me on the Tampa Bay side for sure. But how can you trust Dak Prescott laying points when clearly he does not trust what his eyes are seeing right now with reading the secondary?